Hey, happy Monday, cookie friends. Just thought I would make a quick video to show you how I set up my drying area for my cookies. No, a lot of people use dehydrators and I've played with them too myself, but I'm not so sure that they work any better than my fan. And the space considerations too. I was thinking about getting one of the big ones and I just don't have room for anything else in my kitchen. So if what I'm doing helps anybody, I thought I would go ahead and share what I got going on here. So hold on, turn myself around. Okay, so I know a lot of you probably have one of these. It's a bun rack or speed rack. Sometimes we call them that too. And what I have on mine, please forgive my shaky video. I am not a YouTuber by any stretch. I have one of these plastic covers on it and it zips, and when I'm working I just fold the top back over here like this so I can have it open to my table. And this is actually coming really handy because it just keeps, you know, everything neat and tidy and free from anything that might be wafting through the air. So what I have here is this is a $7 or $8 fan that I got from one of the big box home improvement stores. I want to say it was the blue one, but I'm not 100% sure. And it has a heat setting on it. So you can either turn it on cool like that, or you can go up to the next one and then that will give you some heat. And it registers at about, it bounces between about 92 and 95 degrees when it's coming out. And it's not a real strong fan, it's just a soft air coming out of it. So I'll turn that off. And so what I do when I'm making my cookies, I got cookies right there, is as I'm decorating them, I'll go ahead and do usually 4 or 5 on a sheet, and then I put the sheet right here and I turn on the fan and up to the heat setting. And so what that does is it blows air directly across the surface of the cookies. And when I have my sheet pan in here, like so, see this lip? So what ends up happening is I don't get any air going directly on my cookies. It just goes over the top. And I can fit 6 half sheet trays in a row here and still have the full circulation of the fan. Now, a lot of the big dehydrators, their working mechanism is basically just a fan that blows like back to front or side to side. They do have some of the smaller ones have got the top to bottom, but I've found that those are a little bit cumbersome and that you have to keep stacking and unstacking trays and all that kind of business. And then you run the risk of every time you got to move those cookies of messing one up. So I just will sit here on my workstation and I'll fill the cookies and I put them here on the tray. And as they've been sitting here for a while, I'll push that one back, put another tray in, and then I can move them up. I have about the same amount of air circulation on this top one right here as I do on the bottom, but that's just kind of how I gauge where I am in my process. And then I put this pan up here on the top, and then that just kind of keeps it from going all over the place up there, and it kind of just keeps the air concentrated in these 6 sheets. So I'm going to fill some cookies and then I will put them in there with my little mock setup here for about 20 minutes and show you the results. Okay, so I've got about half a dozen cookies filled. This took me, about 6 minutes, and I like to get them underneath the fan before they start to crust. You just get a better finish that way. So how many you do at a time before you start them will depend more on, oops, let me turn it around, will depend more on how large your cookies are and how quickly you can flood. So those. And then I'm gonna put my fan like right here. Okay, and I'll show you why in a second. And then I'm gonna turn it up on the heat. And go like that, okay? And I just put it right here just so that I can put the extra cookies back on there as I'm working on them. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes. And let's see how we're doing here. So So these have been in a little bit less. That one right there in the front I just filled. And the ones back here, you can see they're already starting to get matte, okay? And these were the first 6 that I did. So let me see if I can pull those out. You can see, okay, so you can see these have been in for about 20 minutes and they're starting to lose some of that sheen. And I'm gonna carefully, boop, boop, boop. So you can see, I mean, they've got enough crusting on the top that you could go ahead and add another layer next to it if you wanted to. For me, I don't trust my piping skills good enough to pipe directly on top of that if I were writing or something. But I think, at least for my purposes, that the fan did just as good of a job as my dehydrator in the same amount of time with less hassle. The other consideration too is that, I mean, I can move these pans around a lot easier. I don't have to pick the cookies up off of them and put them back in the dehydrator trays. And I have never ever had any problems with them cracking or wrinkling or doing any of that kind of stuff using my trusty fan setup. So that's all. Just wanted to share this little tip for anybody who was considering a dehydrator and you know, didn't either have the space or the resources, or, you know, if you already have something like this set up, you know, who wants another thing in their kitchen. I know we're all limited with space. So anyways, that's what I got. Thanks for listening. Bye.